Oh, I'm in just an absolutely beautiful location right now. Just shooting another wonderful episode of Wild Harvest. And I have discovered this gorgeous little flower down there. If you can see it, that all those white blooms, that's Claytonia lanceolata, Western Spring Beauty. I can help you to identify wild edible plants, but the only way to be 100% sure and completely accurate is to read up on your books, cross-reference those books, check online, and most importantly, consult a local expert. Learn from someone who knows the plants in your area. Take a course, and that way you'll be very confident in your next wild harvest. You know, wild edible plants, and medicinal plants for that matter, they don't just grow arbitrarily and accidentally, popping up here and there. And that's why, depending on where you are, will determine the kind of plants you're going to find. So if I want variety, I gotta travel. And that's why I always find myself in a place like this, on the side of a hill, right in the middle of the Rocky Mountains, putting the wild back in the wild harvest. That's stunning.
What a perfect day.
Huh. And here's what I'm looking for, right here, actually. This is Juniper communis, the most widespread conifer in the entire planet. These berries that we're looking at here, this is the female plant. Only the female of the species produces the berries. By the way, rich in vitamin C, amongst many other things.
Okay.
Here's the catch to this, though. These aren't berries. These are cones. This is a conifer. These are little cones that are so tight in with their scales that they look like berries just. These are not berries at all. These are juniper cones.
I had no idea.
You see the texture of that berry?
Yeah.
That's a nice sort of ripe purple one, right? Takes almost 2 years for these berries to ripen. You get to a stage where they're still green, but they are mature. Then they go from that green mature stage to being purple and black. Culinarily, this is the stage that most people use them.
Yeah.
Is when they've turned this purpley blue, purpley black color. This particular plant, this juniper, is used widely in a medicinal way throughout cultures all across the planet. But it goes way back to the Greeks. The Greeks used to feed the berries to their Olympians to promote stamina. And then in 1650, along comes this dude who's looking for a tonic treatment for kidney issues. And he takes the juniper berries, he makes a tonic, and it proves to be really, really popular because basically he invented gin. Gin is from the mature green berries, but we're gonna mess with both berries here today because we have lots of them, and you don't need much.
Yeah. The smell on that one's not that strong. It's a green one that I picked.
Oh, I didn't expect that much sweetness. That was a good one. Really sweet. So you see, there's a lot of room to play with the berry and the stage that it's in terms of whether it's used for gin or culinarily. I think we're gonna have fun with this because here's what I'm gonna do. I actually don't wanna look for anything else. So I would love you to harvest both the green and the purpley blue ones. Let's just start doing some gathering. Junipers are such widespread conifers that they even grow at altitudes of over 4,900 meters, making for one of the highest tree lines on Earth.
There's so many of these.
To positively identify Juniper communis, remember that the needles are joined at the base, and also that with the seedlings, the needles are sharp and prickly. And as must be done with all berry gathering, or should I say cone gathering, you have to eat some along the way. Junipers are gymnosperms, which means they have seeds, but no flowers, no fruits, and no berries. Gin, by the way, is a shortening of the Dutch word for juniper. Hey, Paul.
What do you got there?
I thought I'd go a little extra step and do some mixology for us this time. We're dealing with juniper berries, which make gin, but they also make other drinks if we want them to. So I thought we could make our own wild foraged Bloody Mary.
I could use one, I think.
This is just basic tomato juice. Took the juniper berries, crushed them up, dropped them in, and this has been soaking for only 24 hours. And this is neutral grain alcohol, same process, 24 hours overnight, and it smells like gin to me.
Yeah, in a big way. Wow, look at the color.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
That's amazing.
These are predominantly green, and these ones are a mixture of both green and the bluish purple ones.
I'm just gonna have a slight hint of it. You have to try it.
Wow!
I know.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more, okay, it's just gonna be the alcohol shock, right? But that is juniper front, middle, and back, all the way through, that's juniper.
Nicely, too. It's not like this gross flavor.
yeah.
It's really balanced, like you said.
Yeah.
The whole palate. I love it. But holy cow, for overnight, that's a win. So the one thing I've never really had a chance to do, I mean, I've squished them in the past and smelt them, you know, walking through the forest sort of thing, but to eat them is interesting. And the fact that I learned earlier that these are cones and not berries is kind of a revelation on its own. The ripe one is soft and sweet. It's almost in the category of berry. It's that sweet. I had no idea. The green one, it's got a great texture, a great mouthfeel. Flavor is similar, but it's more green. It actually tastes more like the juniper bush itself, if that makes sense. It's making me think, you know, this could be great for an application for doing a bison tartare. So I think the green juniper, because it's got a fresher flavor, will work really well in a tartare. Tartare is very mild in flavor, and these green juniper berries, I think they've got enough oil and enough roundness and freshness that it won't overpower the tartare, but it will complement it nicely. Now, a tartare sounds intimidating, but really it's not. It's raw meat, and yes, that's kind of one of those things that make you go, but it's actually quite delicious. And if you think of tartare being a meat salad and all the ingredients that are going in to flavor it, like a salad dressing, you're on point. I'm chopping up some capers. Capers add a brightness. The acid in them and the salt in them actually add a little point of punctuation, which tartare really needs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is a nice piece of bison. And to clean it up for tartare, it's really important to get rid of all the silver skin. That's all this tissue that you see me taking off right here. I think that's a good pile. Sharp knife is really an asset for this part. I want to make sure that the juniper berry is the star of the show. And because the juniper is so strong, I'm cutting them very, very fine. The main reason is I want to make sure that I have even distribution of that flavor. Fresh egg yolk, green onions for freshness, olive oil, a little bit of lemon zest, then time to mix it all together. It's there, but I'm gonna use a little bit of that gin just to help finish it off.
All right. Okay. I know what we have here. I know we have tartare.
Yes.
Did I hear you say it was bison or beef?
It is.
Bison tartare.
Bison tartare. Tartare is like a meat salad. So because the meat doesn't really have a lot of flavor on its own, you add flavors to it. So what I did is a typical tartare, the traditional garnishes, but I used some of the green juniper. If it's not enough, and I want really to tell the story of juniper, I added a little bit of the gin on top. So we can top dress the tartare with a bit of the...
I thought that was lemon juice, but it's not, it's gin.
It's gin.
Well, to go with it, what I brought along was the first shot at our Bloody Marys. So what do you want first? Should I just go for the tartare? Or?
I think so. So that is bread off the barbecue.
Do I drizzle?
Yeah, right on top of the meat only.
Meat only.
Just kind of spread it around a little bit.
All right, I'm going for it. Can I?
Let's do it.
All right.
I taste the gin.
You do taste the gin.
I taste the gin.
So the first bite for me was, where's the gin? Honestly, that was
really?
the first thing was I'm not, or at least where's the juniper? I didn't get it in the first few moments. Then it coated the whole tongue, and at the end of that, when I swallowed, it's like, oh, there it is. Now I've got it completely. I've got it. I have actually, for the first time, I even have it on my lips. Again, this is one of those things where it's like got a little twist of bitterness, but the kind of bitter you like. It's all there. Oh, you know what? Let's have a sip of this now. Let's try
good
this.
idea.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go.
That's delicious.
Oh.
That's so good.
Okay. So here's my pullback on the whole thing. I am getting the juniper in all of this, but I'm not getting it when it first goes in my mouth. I'm getting it like 6 seconds later. And there it is, which is kind of cool. It's like having a nice glass of wine and the aftertaste is even better than the foretaste.
Yeah, time delay.
I absolutely love this. I think if I were to be critical of it at all, I almost want to push the envelope just a touch more with the juniper, just to see what would happen, because I'm enjoying the flavor so much.
Yep.
But it's not lost in there. It's still featured. So cheers, man. This is just terrific. All right, time for a little plant identification. Juniperus communis. There are probably 40, 45 plus varieties of this species, and it's the most widespread conifer on the planet. Now let's take a look at some of the identifying features of this. The needles are dark green on the top and tend to be whitish underneath. They also are opposite. So if I pull this apart here, you see how those needles are opposite each other? They go in a whorled formation all the way around the twig. See these green berries? So this is actually a cone, a conifer cone. Just like a pine cone, spruce cone, hemlock cones, juniper cones. It's these bluish ones that are quite tasty. pretty nice. Now, there is a toxic oil. Every juniper shrub has it called tujon and can cause serious problems with the kidneys and the digestive tract, stomach. There are varieties of this species, just a few, that actually have the oil in high concentrations. And so that makes it a juniper berry you want to stay away from. You don't want to touch it. However, luckily and fortunately, this particular version of the species, Juniperus communis, has the oil in small concentrations. It's a wonderful, wonderful shrub. A lot more than just an ornamental in your front yard in the city. Then again, every single plant on your front yard in the city has a lot more to it than just an ornamental quality. Check it out.
Now that is one nice rack of pork. I've got kind of a classic idea when it comes to utilizing juniper. I'm making a brine, not a heavy brine. And I also think I'm going to use a little bit of that gin that Les made. For this brine, I'm using some green juniper berries. I don't think I need a lot because they do have a lot of flavor. A little pinch of salt. I'm just going to mix that all around just so the salt's dissolved. That should do. And then that goes into the fridge until it's time to barbecue. I've been working with the green juniper a little bit more. I realized there might be an opportunity here. The fact that it has such an oily component to it, that would be well suited for making pesto with green juniper, some pistachios, and some onions. Starting with the juniper. Pestos are great for seasoning pastas, rices, using on meats, works in salads. One of the most versatile things you can have in your pantry. All right, time to taste this. Wow, that's really dynamic. The juniper comes through like herb, but not like a juniper flavor profile. It's actually sweet, herbaceous, bitter, unique. I can't wait to pair this up with some apples. Some dried cranberries. Just add some sweetness. Some of the pesto. Some salt. Some sugar. All right, just have to taste this. See where I'm at. That works. I just have to let that stand. One thing that to me screams old European flavor is a braised red cabbage. A little sweet, a little tangy, lots of color, loads of flavor, and traditionally a place that you would find dried juniper berry. Here we go. All right, time to take this over to the stove. Now for some of the ripe juniper berry. Now these I'm going to squish my fingers to help release the flavor. It smells really good. Time for the cabbage. Some salt. Oh, I've got some beautiful honey. It's like adding a shot of amber. A little bit of cider vinegar. I want this to cook to the point that the cabbage is soft and the vinegar and the honey and the cabbage juice create a glaze. And just because I can.
goodness, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, what do you want me to start with?
I would start with the meat.
Okay, done.
That is barbecued pork. That's been brined in a juniper gin brine. So I used your gin. I've added some more berries, and I made a brine out of that. And then away from you, there's an apple juniper salad.
Wow, on that one. That's all I'm gonna say for now, okay. And on top?
That is the juniper pesto. I made out of pistachio nuts and green juniper berries.
Wow. What a journey. That's a serious culinary journey on that plate right now. The blend of the juniper and the pork, spot on. The juniper was not overpowering, but it wasn't just all pork and like, where's the juniper kind of thing. It's there. The fruit salad. That is one of the most unique flavors I've ever tasted in a fruit salad. I don't know if that's a Chef Paul happy accident at this very moment when you were doing it all, but in this proportion, all of these ingredients, it's just a big wow. And the juniper, present throughout the whole bite. So far, the juniper in the meat, perfect blend. The juniper in the salad, all throughout, all there, and a flavor I've never had before. So the pesto. This is the best pesto I've ever eaten in my life.
Right
It's
on.
unbelievable.
This is the story of juniper. This is the story of the cottage. The green berry, the ripe berry, the fact that they have such different characteristics. The fact they don't taste invasive, like it's strong, but it's pleasant.
Oh my gosh. It's absolutely perfect. You know I like to call you if you don't get it. I'm saying it's spot on. It's a win. It's a full-on win, my friend. You know, the last time Paul and I got together to film Wild Harvest, we foraged in the middle of a city. This time we were on the side of a mountain in the Rocky Mountains. Next time might be on the edge of an ocean, in the middle of a desert, or the Florida Everglades. No matter where you live, right outside your door is a prolific and abundant wild harvest just waiting for you to enjoy it. So whether you're a homebody or a world traveler, either way, variety. That's the greatest element of the Wild Harvest. If you'd like to continue the Wild Harvest with me and Chef Paul Rogalski, then please check out our website at wildharvestfilms.com, where we have recipes and foraging tips along with deleted scenes and outtakes from the making of Les Stroud's Wild Harvest.
Directly inspired by the series, Chef Paul and expert forager Les Stroud bring you the Wild Harvest Season 2 recipe book. Highlighting all of Paul's dishes and complete with behind-the-scenes stories, it is available for $29.99. In addition, a DVD of this season is also available for $19.99. To order, please go to wildharvestfilms.com, Wild Harvest TV show on Facebook, or Les Stroud's Wild Harvest on YouTube.